SportsChatPlace.com and PickDogs.com. It is Thursday, the 18th of June, 2020. Tell you, this week is flying by. I guess that's how it goes when you're on heavy medication. Of course, I had a wisdom tooth pulled, so I don't just have my normal fat face this week. I also have a swollen face, but on top of it. But anyways, we're never going to win this show never been about being a beauty pageant. This show's all about picking winners in sports. Of course, we don't have a lot of games going on these days, but we've continued to roll on during the COVID stoppage and continue to bring the live show every single day, and we're going to continue to do that, of course, every single day. But I have a new computer today, so we have a few little tech glitches going on, just making sure that everything is working. I'm not sure if this is being broadcast to YouTube and everywhere else, if this is actually working, but it doesn't seem like it to me, but I guess we will see. Maybe I didn't sign in to some of these destinations. Not saying that it's online, so just not broadcasting. Oh yeah, there we go. Actually, it is working now. Awesome. Anyways, of course, we have La Liga picks today. We got some Bundesliga picks, and we have sim picks as well as some sports news. So what is so weird? All right, so it's like we have the old comment system because, well, when you change computers, it doesn't. The software that we use, it's an app basically. So it doesn't, what that means to everybody is that it doesn't really carry things over from one computer to the next. It kind of all stays within that. So on my other computer, we're all set. But what we're going to do is we're going to use El Duque's comment here to make some adjustments. Of course, in the meantime, we'll bring in Steve Monahan from, Sports with Mano a Mano, and also I'm gonna once after talking to Steve before I bring the Puck Dogs on. I have some other exciting news to share with you guys. Steve, good morning. Wow, you look
good.
Very.
Good morning, Mitch.
Let's see. There we go. Good morning. So some news in sports. Major League Baseball players. It's like let's have 100 games. Let's have 60 games. Let's have whatever. It's like, we want full pay. It's like the owners, we can only afford to pay you this much. It's like, well, we want full pay. It's like, well, then this is the amount of games that we can afford to give you full pay for. Are you
Which
buying?
Is 60, and it comes out to 37% of their salary, prorated salary.
Which is exactly where we've started.
Exactly.
It's exactly where we started, and it's exactly where we've been the entire time.
And the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Do we believe
round
anybody
round.
at this point? I mean, is there? Do we believe? If you guys haven't noticed, I brought in Speedy, the Alka-Seltzer guy, to handle this one because that is where I'm at with this. It's like, it's I don't even understand, how they can even, they need to have like someone explain this to the fans because what I see is lunacy, and it's like just this back and forth kind of like, Like I always say to people, it's like, I want a Ferrari, but it's like I don't want to pay for it. So It's like, I mean, it's kind of like the baseball players want something that the owners are saying doesn't exist. Right?
Yeah. I mean, Manfred and Tony Clark sit down again 4 hours yesterday. Manfred comes out and says, hey, I think we have close to an agreement. And Tony Clark's like, I don't think so. They come up with 60 games, and now the players are going to try and push for another 5, so 65. The postseason, if this thing is actually pulled off, 10 teams to now 16 teams for the next 2 years. A designated hitter would be implemented into the National League for the next 2 years. Outside of that, that's it. So if they come to an agreement, July 19th or 20th is the start date in theory, and they want to end the regular season September 27th. And I would say a World Series champ would be crowned no later than Halloween, October 31st. I mean, that's it. And it's all about the money.
I mean, I don't really understand this at all.
But I'm so tired of it. You and I keep talking about it. I think the image of Major League Baseball is absolutely going to take a hit. And they'll say for the 8,000th time, the collective bargaining agreement for next year is going to be no joke. And God forbid players go on strike next year. They are going to really set themselves back for a lot of PR lashback.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. Like I've said all along, I'm just not sure I know who's telling the truth anymore. And that to me is the hard part of it. It's like, who gets to decide, who is telling the truth here? It's like, because it seems to me like, this is the problem, right?
I mean, how hard is it a few weeks ago to get an arbitrator involved here for, between Manfred and Tony Clark and hear both sides? And again, we're talking about this season here, right? A pandemic that's affecting all of society. And that's it. So they're just wasting time. I think the players are getting antsy. They like their money. And I'd imagine within the week this will be done. But it's, like you said, it's June 18th. And the clock keeps ticking. They should have already been in spring training and originally play by July 4th.
I mean,
I don't know how hard
we're looking at now is like not just 60 games because that's all they can afford to pay them, but we're looking at 60 games because we're running out of time. They're talking middle of July still for a start, and that's, would be a quick start considering pitchers and catchers need to, report and all this other crap. It's like, I mean, if you're the baseball players union head, you should maybe be telling your guys, you better be working out at home and getting into shape, because we're probably going to go, and it's probably going to be terms that nobody likes.
Yep.
I mean, that's really what's going to happen here. And I'll tell you who likes it the least is the fans, once and again. So, we have baseball, just a lot of other stuff going on in the news, just really nothing overly, nothing that really seems to matter much,
There's been some NFL news a little bit, nothing, crazy, but Kareem Jackson now on the Broncos has tested positive for corona. We talked about Elliott down in Dallas.
Is he hospitalized? Is it life-threatening?
No, I'm sure it's probably the 14 days.
So I got my wisdom tooth pulled. Does that mean we all need to, do we need to make an announcement of that too? I mean, I don't understand. It's like, I think we already have.
The only point I bring that up is if there's a second wave. And again, we talked about deaths have not spiked. In fact, they've gone down, that type of thing. And then you have Dr. Fauci, the lead guy, stating that the NFL has to, quote unquote, play in a bubble. I'm just bringing that up because I'm getting a little concerned that the NFL, as of now, obviously, they're going to play, but some way I have in the back of my mind that it's going to be it's the NFL. I mean, it's no joke. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Are we sick of Dr. Fauci here, or what?
Yeah, I got sick of Dr. Fauci a little over a month ago.
I kind of had it with this guy.
And then the other football news I just saw this morning, I thought was interesting that I wanted to bring up. Anybody that knows me knows I despise Cam Newton. I respect his talent, but I despise Cam Newton. However, I'm trying to be fair and objective, and I hope the audience knows that about me by now. But the Carolina Panthers threw out on either social media or what have you for the fans to vote who was the greatest GOAT for the Panthers. And they only put 3 selections on there, and it was Julius Peppers, Steve Smith, and Luke Kuechly. And I thought that was very interesting that they left Cam Newton out. And to be fair, I would have to say Cam Newton is probably the best Panther of all time. I mean, that's my opinion, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I'm not sure if Cam Newton's the best Panther of all time. You know, he made it to the Super Bowl, right? And fumbled the opening snap. It's hard to say if he's the best Panther of all time. This is another team that made it to the Super Bowl twice, and it's like everyone, you know, I mean, you could ask me, you know, and I wouldn't have Cam Newton as the greatest Panther of all time.
I'm not saying I would either, but my point is for him not to be on that, you know, to make it 4 as opposed to 3. You obviously know the Carolina Panthers, what they think of Cam Newton behind the scenes.
Right, and I
that's
think,
my point.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is, you know, part of, you know, what the way they feel now about things, you know, and it's like these are things that over time they pass, you know. I mean, you know, Mercury Morris was run out of the league, and you know, a few years ago, you know, more than a few years ago at this point, you know, he walked out onto the field before they tore down the old Orange Bowl, and the place went bananas. So, you know, and Bill Buckner was welcomed back in Boston, right? You know, before he passed away. And he was given not just an ovation, he was given a massive ovation.
And that's what's going to happen to Newton when he's retired and gets his number retired.
It's just that, you know, Panthers. They're just a little tender right now.
Right. And again, I'm just trying to be fair here. You know, of those Peppers, Smith, or Kuechly, who do you think is the GOAT for the Panthers?
Julius Peppers, and it's not even close.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Anyways, I'm going to bring in the Puck Dogs here. We'll see in just a little bit for the simulated picks. Not a lot of action today, so we'll see in just actually probably fairly quickly. But bring in Chris, and then myself. Oop, we got my round camera. I got unclick me. Oh, that really helped. Let's try it the other way around. Put Rod first. Morning, guys. How are you?
Morning.
Yeah, no one can hear when you nod. So saying saying hello is always a good thing. We're actually, I do that not really to say hi, because I've already done that behind the scenes, right? Before we started, I'm doing it to make sure your mics are working and that we can hear you. So
for sure,
there we have it.
For
Anyways,
sure.
So Puck Dogs. But I forgot to say is that we're going to have our multi-handicapper site as soon as things get restarted, and we have a bunch of guys that have joined us. So I'm going to probably start having those guys on the show with us one by one, and you know how much they're on the show and how much they want to talk about and everything like that will depend on them. And then we're going to have additional shows that we're going to be adding as we go. And, of course, I'll announce that. But I just wanted to let everybody know we have pretty much firming up our roster of guys that we're going to have on. So it's really exciting stuff, you know, really exciting. But what's not exciting is our sports schedule currently. And that we got La Liga today, and that is it. Just 2 games, right?
Yeah.
So
2 games.
Any thoughts on the La Liga? Or, you know, there's also golf today, right? Any matchup ideas you guys have? Anything on the fairway?
No, not for me. Not on day one.
All right.
For me, day one is as I watch and feel players out and see how they're rolling, and then.
Yeah, for me, day one's maybe about putting a couple long shot winners in before the odds start to decrease.
No problem. Just throwing it out there. But so in La Liga action, how did we do yesterday? What happened yesterday in Premier League as they kicked off? Anything out of the ordinary or exciting?
So Manchester City won 3-0 over Arsenal. But the bigger story of the day was actually Sheffield United and Aston Villa, and how Sheffield United were denied a pretty clear-cut goal, and somehow all the video technology and the goal line technology that we have in the Premier League decided not to work. And we had the one time out of maybe 9,000 times, according to the interview, that this goal line technology decided not to work. And it was a pretty clear-cut goal. The goalie backed the ball up over the line, but in the end it finished 0-0 because of it.
All right. So,
technology screwed us.
Once again, run amok. So what do we have on tap for today then?
So the 1:30 game is Alaves against Real Sociedad, and I'm taking Sociedad money line and Sociedad with both teams to score no. I think they win this game 1-0. I think it's a defensive game.
Rod, how do you feel about this?
I'm with you on that one. Give me Real Sociedad money line. I think 1-0 looks very likely in this game. If you want, you could probably even go the under 2.5. At worst, I think this game will be 1-1.
Yeah. And the other one, Real Madrid playing Valencia. I'm going to take Real Madrid with both teams to score. Get the price to plus money. I think it's 2-1 game. I think Real Madrid wins, but I think Valencia puts up a fight.
Rod?
And for me, I'm not touching this game. The other game I'm betting today is in the Denmark La Liga, and it's FC Midtjylland versus Brøndby. And I love the first half over in this game. Give me first half over in the Denmark La Liga game versus Midtjylland, and Brøndby over 1.5 first half plus 175.
All right, so there you have
For
it.
me, I'm going to parlay the Sociedad with both teams to score no, and Real Madrid with both teams to score for plus 737.
All right, anything else in the world of sports that you guys want to talk about before we go to our long-awaited simulated picks segment?
Big exciting weekend. Lots going on. Lots this weekend anyway.
Yeah.
There's lots of soccer games. We got.
So, like, when you say lots of soccer games, what exactly, for those of us that don't know what that means?
So the Bundesliga is going to roll for the next 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of the season. All the games are going to be on the Saturday at 9:30 Eastern, to make sure that there was no, I don't want to say fixing of the results, but to make sure the teams aren't like holding back so that one team gets an edge over another team. They're going to run them all at the same time. There's some Premier League starting up as well. Basically, the teams that didn't play midweek, they're going to start up, and Serie A is starting as well.
All right, so there you have it. We also have UFC this weekend, I know, and NASCAR.
UFC
right?
on Saturday night. We got NASCAR on Sunday. There's also the Belmont Stakes on Saturday afternoon.
Which we'll
Busy weekend.
We'll be covering, of course, as well.
Yep.
Jeff Jeter this weekend as well, with NASCAR picks. All right, going to bring Steve Monahan back in and do the long-awaited simulated picks segment of the show. I don't know what I did with yesterday's stuff, as I redesigned my whole office here, studio, with the new computer. On Monday, on the Monday with Mitch segment, I will show you guys what my finished studio looks like, now that I have everything here. All right, let's go. How did we do yesterday?
So the Bills beat the Redskins 24-10.
I got the wrong card.
The Colts covered against the Chiefs 55-52. The Chiefs won, though.
I think I had the Colts.
Steelers beat the Packers 44-37 outright.
I definitely had the money line on the Steelers there.
And the Seahawks beat the Cowboys 61-38.
I think I swept. Bills,
Another
Colts,
2-2 performance. for
Bills,
me.
Colts,
Two.
Steelers, Bills, Colts, Steelers, Seahawks. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
There it is. Bills,
Yep.
Colts, Steelers, Seahawks.
You were correct.
Apparently the Seahawks were playing an Arena League game yesterday, but
What? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
You never watched the Arena
I don't
Football
even
League?
want to know what that means.
We're gonna change Ruffalo from Puck Dog to King of the Random Comment.
Those Arena Football League games, they used to the scores always used to be in the 50s and 60s because they played like a 50-yard field.
And for today's irrelevant comment, we bring in Chris Ruffalo.
I'm the king of the irrelevant comment. And have been for a long time.
Rod is also the master of the birdcage and the king of the vague comment. It's like, yeah, I like them. Who do you like? Who exactly is them? Okay. We have a lot of games this weekend. Like, who's playing this weekend? All right. What do we got?
12 Eastern, Titans and Browns in a pick'em.
Titans.
Browns.
Okay. Titans.
Browns.
Browns.
Will simulated Baker Mayfield be kneeling before the game?
It hasn't been confirmed or denied
I'll tell
yet.
you one thing. Simulated or non-simulated, Baker Mayfield will be eating a lot of simulated turf today because that's what he does.
At 3 Eastern, Falcons -6 against the Jags.
Falcons.
Yeah, I'll go Falcons.
Falcons.
At 7, Ravens -4.5 against the Panthers. One Panthers money line.
Panthers.
Ravens.
And at 10, Packers and Saints in a pick'em.
Saints.
Saints.
I'll go Saints.
Saints.
After that Packers performance yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up today's shows.
Nope. And we got one NHL sim today. We got the Chicago Blackhawks at the Minnesota Wild. Take the Wild. Minnesota Wild on the money line, -110.
On yesterday's Jeopardy replay, they had sports teams like that don't end in the plural. You know, is the thing. So it's like Jazz, Wild, all those.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if I was ever on Jeopardy, it'd be like my dream category.
Oh God.
It's like we have college football.
You better not have buzzer problems.
Oh, it's like you know damn well I go on Jeopardy. It's Shakespeare, like Corinthians, right?
Exactly.
Like,
The Renaissance.
18th century architecture.
this genre.
Calculus.
This genre calculus. All right.
His like college football, golf clubs.
Exactly. Popcorn. I'll take popcorn for $400.
I was on a conference call with Charles and another company yesterday on the golf course, and I won 3 skins while I was on the call on my earbuds. It was driving people nuts. I hit a 5-iron on a par 3. I mean, I was like this close. It was
Nice.
like, it was one of them, but I won 3 skins. Anyways, just during the call, I ended up winning. Like, I won the front, the back, and the bulk of the skins. It was one of those days.
Nice.
But back to the club today. The humbling equalizer. It's like a freaking member of the club. It's just there to beat me up. It's like, yes, I like to pay ridiculous amounts of money to get pummeled by the golf course. It's like it's got to be it's so hard. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. We have a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow because we'll have those early games for Saturday that we'll discuss. Talk about a little bit of preview for the weekend. I also want to talk about some more in-depth site news and maybe get you some specific names of some of the people, at least some of the people who will be joining us, and some of the new shows that you guys can let us know what you think. As sports gets closer and closer to the return, it'll be here before you know it. Have a great day, everyone.